أيا طالب العلم قم لا تنم فإن الزمان انقضى. أيا طالب العلم قم لا تنم فإن الزمان انقضى وانصرم.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. All praise and thanks belong to Allah Azza wa Jal, the Lord, creator and sustainer of the heavens and the earth. We place our choicest greetings and blessings upon the most beloved of Allah's creation, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his family members, upon his companions, and upon all of those who follow him until the end of times. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us from them. Ameen. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. I welcome each and every one of you to our study of the text Durūs al-Lughah al-Arabiyyah li-Ghayr الناطقين Bihā. Lessons in the Arabic language for those who do not speak it. And we are currently, this is our 6th lesson, al-Dars al-Sadis, and we are doing page 23. This still forms part of lesson 4 of the book. So this is our 6th lecture and class, but we are still busy with al-Dars al-Rabi', lesson number 4. So tonight, inshallah, bi'idhnillahi al-Kareem, we will try to finish this lesson, and then next week start with al-Dars al-Khamis, inshallah. And we're going slowly through it because we want you to get a feel for the study of the Arabic language, and then inshallah, as time progresses, we'll add some more, inshallah ta'ala. So this is the last lesson that we did, the last part of the lesson. So the first word is, he's giving you a list of names because these were the names that were used in the lesson. So the first name is Muhammadun. Tonight I don't have a pen, so I'll just write with my hand. Muhammadun. All right. So we mentioned this at the beginning. We said the general rule is that words get dhamma, and more specifically double dhamma. So these are all names of males, right? All male names. That you will see all of them have the double dhamma, and the double dhamma is pronounced as un. So if you have a dal with a un, it's dun. If you have a ra with a un, it's run. If you have a ya with a un, it's yun. And when you have a sin with an un, it's sun. So the general rule is names, all our names, Hishamun, Ashikun, Adilun. However, in speech, we don't say it like that. This is more so in reading. When we read something, when we read a person's name, we will mention the un at the end. But when in speech, we won't say Adilun, Hishamun, Ashikun. We won't speak like that. So here, the first name is Muhammadun. The second name, Khalidun. The third name, Hamidun. The fourth name, Yasirun. The fifth name, Ammarun. The sixth name, Sa'idun. The seventh name, Aliyun, Ali. And the eighth name, Abbasun. All of them have un at the end. So those are all male names. And these were the names. The author is giving you some more examples, but many of these names were used in the previous lessons. Now he goes to a list of female names. Now, one thing that you will notice about the female names, they do not get the un. They still get the dhamma, but they get the single dhamma. They don't get the double dhamma. Now, there's a reason for that. There's a specific rule that governs the names of females, but I'm not going to explain that to you now because that is actually lesson 23. That's the last lesson of the book. So we are not going into that. So it will be Aminatu. Aminatu. It still has the dhamma though. So it still has the default rule. The default rule is that any word gets a u or un unless something precedes it that changes it from u or un to i or in, to a kasra. As we discussed in last week's lesson, the lesson of the harf al-jar. So aminatu. Now similarly, in speech, we don't say aminatu. Where's aminatu? We say aminah. So in Arabic, when you make waqf, when you stop on a closed ta, this is called a closed ta. In Arabic, we call it a ta marbuta. In Arabic, you call it a ta marbuta. This is a open ta. And then you get something like this. This is the closed ta. Now, the closed ta, when you stop on it, we call stopping on it, making waqf. When you make waqf on it, you change that ta to a ha sound. So that's why you hear people saying Aminah. You won't hear someone saying Aminatu. They will say Aminah. So Aminah has a dhamma. Zainabu. In speech, we don't say Zainabu. Where's Zainabu? We'll say where's Zainab. Fatimatu. Fatimatu. Zainabu. In speech, we won't say Fatimatu. We'll say Fatimah. That's why the proper pronunciation is not Fatima, where you can't hear the ha. You must actually hear the ha, because there's a ta marbuta, a closed ta, and when you stop on the ta marbuta, it changes to a ha. And that's all words like that. All words with closed tas. We don't say zakat. We say zakah. We don't say salat. We say salah with a ha at the end. Fatimatu. We say Fatimah. Maryamu. Similarly, Aishatu. Aishatu. In speech, we say Aisha. In reading, we'll say Aishatu. Qalat Aishatu. Aisha said. However, in speech, we won't say Aishatu. Where's Aishatu? Khadijatu. In speech, we'll say Khadija. Safiyatu. In speech, we will say Safiya. Ruqayyatu. In speech, we will say Ruqayyah. All of these words, dhamma, 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 dhamma. Now, you might ask the question, why do the names of males have the double dhamma, the un, but the names of females do not have a double dhamma, they have a single dhamma? I'm not going to discuss that with you now. That is in Ad-Darusu Al-Thalithu Wal-Ishrun, in lesson 23 of this text. And so, inshallah ta'ala, after a few months, when we reach that lesson, I will take you back to this lesson and I will explain to you. Now you understand why it is like this. Any questions? So now, he says, Iqra, read, waktub, and write. Ma'a dhabti awakhiri al-kalimati. By placing the correct case ending on the word. Now we said all male names will get the double dhamma, and all female names will get a single dhamma. So Hamid will be Hamidun. Zainab will be what? Will it be Zainabun or Zainabu?
Zainabu.
Zainabu. For now, just memorize it. This is the rule. Without understanding why it's like that. The why comes later. It's easier when you just memorize it in the beginning. Later on, it's easy to understand the rule. Similarly, it's not Aminatun, it's Aminatu. The name of a male, Ammar, is it Ammarun or Ammaru?
Ammarun.
Ammarun. Jamil. Ammarun. Similarly, the name Sa'id is the name of a male. So we'll say Sa'id Dun. Sa'idun. Fatima is the name of a female. So is it Fatimatu or Fatimatun?
Fatimatu.
Fatimatu. Fatimatu.
Maryamu.
Maryamu. Do the rest for us, inshallah. Aliyun.
Aliyu.
Yeah. Now, when we speak, we don't say, I saw Aliyun at the masjid. We saw Ali. That's why it's important when you make waqf on the word. Aliyun has a shadda on the ya. So you can hear how I pronounce it. A shadda basically represents two of the same letters. Aliyun. Aliyun. These two yas that I'm pronouncing. So when you make waqf on it, you can't just say Ali. You must say Ali. You must hear that ya. Ali. Now, I understand we pronounce it in certain ways because of laziness. It's difficult to maintain correct pronunciation all the time. Where's Ali? Where's Ali? It's very difficult, right? So people just say Ali or Ali. You know, they just mispronounce the names. And obviously, because we come from a community, Arabic language is not the first language. Obviously, many of these names will then be mispronounced. So let's go back. Aliyun. Khalid is the name of a male, so it will be Khalidun. Abbas. Is it Abbasun or Abbasu?
Abbasun.
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 Is it Aishatu or Aishatun?
Aishatu.
Aishatu. Is it Muhammadun or Muhammadu?
Muhammadun.
Muhammadun. Is it Safiyatu or Safiyatun?
Safiyatun.
Safiyatu. Safiyatu. And the last one is Khadija too. Okay, now let's go to the next part of the lesson, inshallah. So last week, first harful jar. We did the first harful jar. And that harful jar was fi. That harful jar was fi, which means in or inside. Inside fi. And we said when these huruful jar, in English we translate them as prepositions, when these huruful jar, they precede a word, the word gets a kasrah. The word gets a kasrah. So that last week we did the first one. Now we're going to the second one, min. And we gave you some examples from the Quran, and you can check last week's video. You can check out last week's video. We went through some verses of the Quran. And some of those verses, Sheikh Adil mentioned, min al-jinnati. Why is al-jinnati wan nasi? Why is it majroor? Why does it get the kasrah? Because of the min. So we said the default rule of any word is u or un. Single dhamma or double dhamma, unless preceded by something that changes the case ending, that changes the i'rab. So here he gives an example. Al-baytu. Why? Who among the brothers can tell me why is it al-baytu? Why is it not al-bayti or al-baytah? This is what you should remember. Because the default rule is that if nothing precedes it, it gets a dhamma or a double dhamma. Unless and until something precedes it, it will stay dhamma or double dhamma. In the event when something precedes it, it either gets a kasra or a fatha. Now the fatha part, we're leaving it for now. That we will do later in the book. For now, you need to remember, there are certain huruf that if they come in front of a particular noun, then that noun will get a kasra. So al-baytu changes to min al-bayti. Why? Because of the min. Min al-bayti. We still gave you the Quranic example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Surah Al-Isra, Subhana alladhi asra bi'abadihi laylan min al-masjidi al-harami. Why is al-masjidi getting a kasra? Min. From the sacred mosque ila al-masjid al-aqsa, to the furthest mosque. So Allah took the Prophet on a night journey from the sacred mosque to the al-masjid al-aqsa, to the furthest mosque. So the word al-bayt here gets a kasra because of the min. Now he gives you the third one. So we learned about fi, we learned about min, and then we learned about ila. Ila. Ila means to or towards. Min means from. Al-masjidu. Can anyone tell me why is it al-masjidu from among the new brothers, inshallah? Can anyone tell me why is it al-masjidu? Sheikh Adil, explain to us why is the word not al-masjidu? Why is it al-masjidu?
It's the default rule.
It's the default rule. It's the default rule. Nothing comes in front of it. You can't just decide to make you know, you can't just, you know, arbitrarily just decide, you know what, I'm going to make this word now, I'm going to give it a kasra. I'm going to say al-Masjidi. You can't do that. These words are governed by certain awamil, certain rules. All right? So al-Masjidu is the default. Nothing here precedes it. However, when ila comes in front of the word, the noun gets a kasra, ila al-Masjidi. Now remember, I told you the pronunciation of this word ila, that there is called the alif maksura. This here is an alif maksura. My translation, a dotless ya. A dotless ya. So if you write it, the pronunciation is like this. Ila. That's how you pronounce it. So on its own, it's ila. All right? But when you read it with another word, like the word al-masjid, that alif maksura, that dotless ya falls away. And the next alif over here falls away. You read it into another word. We call this hamzatul wasl. And you read it as ilal. Ilal masjidi. Ilal masjidi. So on its own, what is the word? Ila. When you read it with another word, ilal. Ilal masjidi. Ilal masjidi. So that's important to keep in mind. Okay, so now we're going to through. So from this part of the book right until the end, he's going to have many of these little conversations, inshallah. And these conversations are good for you to learn and know them well and use them, inshallah ta'ala, perhaps amongst yourselves. And this will help you a lot in speaking Arabic, inshallah ta'ala, because we want to be able to speak some Arabic as well so that we can converse with people who are native to the language. So, okay, so this is a conversation between al-mudarris. Who can tell me what is al-mudarrisu? Al-mudarrisu.
The teacher.
The teacher, and between Muhammadun. So it's a conversation between al-mudarris, person number one, wa shakhs thani, Muhammadun. So shakhs al-awwal, or al-muhaddith al-awwal, or al-mutakallim al-awwal. The first speaker is al-mudarris, wal-mutakallim al-thani, Muhammad. And the second speaker is Muhammad. So, just get this out of the way. So who wants to do the first one? Min. What's the meaning of min? From aina.
Aina, from where? Anta, from where are you?
Anta is, now anta, when you see it, when it's anta, it's for a male. You are speaking about a male. Min aina anta, from where are you? That's very simple. Muhammadun then responds by saying ana. So ana means I. Ana, I am min. What is the meaning of min?
I'm from here.
Ana min al-Yabani. What is Yaban? Al-Yaban. That's logical. Japan. Ana min al-Yaban. Ana min al-Yaban. Now there's a reason why it's Yaban and not Jaban. Because you could make the argument it's Japan, so it should be Japan. But there's a reason why the Arabs, instead of using the jim, they would use the ya. Ana min al-Yaban. So he says, Ana min al-Yaban. I am from. So obviously the literal translation is I from Japan. The copula, the is and the are, the am, we have to translate that into it to make sense of it. Ana, I, min, from, al-Yaban, Japan. But you have to translate the copula, the am in. I am from Japan. And that, to make sense of it in English. Now this is a particular rule over here. This rule is called al-mubtada wal-khabar, but we're not going into that. Ana is the mubtada and min al-Yaban is the khabar. But we're not going into that now. We don't want to overburden you. We want to give you vocabulary, words, ibarat, phrases. And then we'll incorporate grammar. Too much grammar. If I give you all the grammar now, make tarkeeb, do i'rab, do this, do that, you're not going to understand much of the Arabic language. We should be learning the Arabic language like we are learning it now, like kids. The child doesn't learn grammar from the beginning. The child learns vocabulary. He learns phrases, and then he starts using it. If I ask you now most of you speak English, if not all of you, and you speak Afrikaans as well. If I have to ask you a particular grammar rule, perhaps you won't know the rule, but you are able to use the language. You know, it's a lived, you're using the language every day. So for now, we'll park all the grammar, inshallah ta'ala, and then we will do the grammar later, inshallah. Yeah, and then I'll mention a grammar rule. Like last week, we did harf al-jar and we did the rule of al-lam al-ta'rif. So those are some of the basic rules. Too much. This lesson is not intended to be a grammar lesson. Okay, Muhammadun. So al-mudarris then responds, or he says, وَمِنْ أَيْنَ عَمَّارٌ. Who can do that one for us? What does that mean? وَمِنْ أَيْنَ عَمَّارٌ. What does that mean? وَمِنْ أَيْنَ عَمَّارٌ.
Where is Ammar?
From where is Ammar? Muhammadun responds by saying, هُوَ مِنَ الصِّينِ. What is Sin? هُوَ مِنَ الصِّينِ. He is from As-Sin. Where's Sin?
He is from China.
He is from China. Jameel, Jameel. He is from China. Sin. You should always make dua. That's why one of the du'as that I like making, after I make dua for the entire ummah, Allah mansur ikhwanina fi Palestine, or fi Syria, you know, I make dua for the Muslimun, the Uyghur Muslims in Sin, in East Turkmenistan, those Muslims that are oppressed by the Chinese. Huwa min as-Sini. He is from as-Sin. He is from China. There's a famous statement that always goes around. Utlub al-ilm utlub al-ilm walau bis-Sin. Utlub al-ilm, seek knowledge, walau bis-Sin, even if it be in China. It's not a hadith, but it's a famous saying meaning seek knowledge and go as far as possible, like even if it means going to China, seek knowledge. Okay, al-mudarrisu. So we say it's al-mudarrisu. The raya has a shadda on, so it's al-mudarr. You should hear the double ra. Al-mudarri, al-mudarrisu. وَمِنْ أَيْنَ حَامِدٌ. وَمِنْ أَيْنَ حَامِدٌ. وَمِنْ أَيْنَ حَامِدٌ. What's Hamid? Who can do that for us? Anyone? Inshallah, volunteer. Guys, come on, man. If we reach level 8, 9, we're not going to translate anymore. Then you're supposed to know all of these things. وَمِنْ أَيْنَ حَامِدٌ. And from where is Hamid?
Hamid.
And from where is Hamid? Then Muhammadun responds by saying, Huwa min al-Hindi. Huwa min al-Hind. Where's Hind?
He is from India.
He is from India. Hind is India. That's why you get the term Hindus. You know, a Hindu. Because they are native to that land, the Hindus. That's why you get something called in Arabic a muhannad. A muhannad is a sword from India. India is an old civilization. Al-mudarrisu. Al-mudarrisu. Ayna Abbasun. Ayna Abbasun. Who can do that one for us? Ayna Abbasun.
Where is Abbas?
Where is Abbas? Ayna Abbasun. Where is Abbas? He gives one word and he says, Kharaja. Now this is an important, this is like an important point over here. This is the first time the author of this book has used the verb in the book. We are on page 24 of the book. Page 24. This is the first time he uses a verb. This is the first time he uses a verb. He has not used a verb in, we've done, this is lesson number 4 of the text, ad-Dars al-Rabi'. In the 4 lessons that have preceded, or the 3 lessons that have preceded, the author, rahimahullah ta'ala, has not used a verb. So look at, he's introducing the verb now to us for the first time. So this verb, so as we know in English, there are nouns and there are verbs. Nouns are names of people, names of things, etc. Adjectives, these are all nouns. And then you get verbs. Verbs are doing words, right? So kharaja, the literal translation is, kharaja means he, one, male, left. That's the meaning of that verb. It's one word. It's one word, but it is this is a sentence. If I say أين عادل? أين عادل? شفته في المسجد. I saw him in the masjid. رأيته في المسجد. And someone tells me خرج. He left. He left. That's a sentence. That's a complete sentence. That's جملة فعلية. But don't worry about that now. That's a جملة فعلية, because what does a جملة فعلية require? فاعل وفعل. فاعل وفعل. A verb and someone who does the verb. An action and someone who does the action. So خرج, he left. The he refers to the person Abbas. So the way that this book introduces the use of verbs is very beautiful, because he slowly introduces, how will you say, okay, I know how to say he left. How will I say she left? How will I say they left? How will I say we left? How will I say you left? You don't need to worry about that now. He introduces each pattern into the conversations. So now you only need to learn this one. Kharaja. Kharaja is a verb. It means he. When we translate it, we translate it as he left. But to be more specific, it means he, one male left. And Abbas is one. It's only one person. And number two is a male. It's not two people. It's not three people. And it's not a female. It's a male. And it's one male. So he, one male left. But when we translate it into English, we don't say he, one male left. We just say he left. If someone says, Aina Ashik, where's Ashik? Kharaja, he left. So kharaja means, you should memorize that. Kharaja. And this verb here is called a fi'lun madin. In English, a past tense verb. There are different types of verbs. Like in English, there's past tense in Arabic. Then there's fi'lun mudari'un. Then there's present future tense. Past, it happened in the past. And it's done. He left. The action took place and it's over. Then present, it is happening al-an, now, in the present moment, in real time as we are speaking. And in the future, it will happen. It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. So kharaja, the translation thereof is he, one may left. But when we translate it, we just say he left. And it is a past tense verb. By the translation, you can yet past tense. He left. We are not saying he is leaving or he will leave. He left. Kharaja. He left. Does everyone understand that? Soon we will come to learn how to say she left. They left. We left. I left. That will come slowly. For now, you just have to learn in Ad-Dars al-Rabi' how to say in Arabic, he left. So if someone asks, Aina Shaykh? Kharaja, he left. If they ask you, Aina Anta? Where are you? You won't be able to say Kharajtu, I left. Because you don't know how to say that. Inshallah, we learn that, inshallah. For now, you just have to learn Kharaja, he left. So the author introduces two verbs. The same pattern, different meanings. Two different meanings. Two verbs of different meanings. To leave and to come. To leave and to go. So Muhammad, so the teacher says, Aina Abbasun? Where is Abbas? Kharaja. What does Kharaja mean? Kharaja?
He left.
He left. That's it. He left. Next one, Al-Mudarrisu. Aina. What's the meaning of Aina?
Where?
Aina, he brings another verb. And you will see the verbs, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, they're on the same pattern. You will see a fatha, fatha, fatha. Kharaja, dhahaba. Aina dhahaba. Where did he go? Dhahaba means went. Went. Now, obviously, you can't say where. You can say where he went. It sounds a bit awkward. Where he went. Where did he go? Aina dhahaba. So dhahaba means same pattern. He, one, male, go. Obviously, did go. You can add the word did. Where did
he go?
he go? أين ذهب? Where did he go? Muhammad. Now this is I'm going to test you here. ذهب إلى المدير. ذهب. What's the meaning of ذهب?
He went.
He went. Jamil. He went. إلى. إلى. Obviously, when you read it, you said ilal, ilal into the lam. Ilal mudir. Ilal mudiri. What's a mudir? What's a mudir?
Principal.
Mudir is a principal. So dhahaba, he went. He went ilal mudiri, to the principal. Yeah, the word gets kasra because of the ila. The word gets a kasra, mudiri, because of the ila. So for now, what you need to know is kharaja means he, one male, left, or just he left, and dhahaba, he went. He left and he went. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher. Wa ayna dhahaba aliyun. Who can do that one? Sheikh Adil, you want to try that one? Wa ayna dhahaba aliyun. Wa ayna, wa ayna.
And we.
Dhahaba aliyun.
And when did?
No, not when. Where.
We, yeah. We. Wa ayna.
Dhahaba aliyun.
And where did Ali go?
Allah. You see, I could teach you the intricacies of where dhahaba comes from. What is the, where is the, that's all in its place. But you had the ability to translate that sentence just by looking at the vocabulary. You knew I wanted you to say wa aina and where dhahaba, did he go Ali? But you knew Ali must be translated first. And where did Ali go? Now this is another rule. When dhahaba and kharaja is used on its own and there's nothing else with it, then we will translate it as he. Kharaja. If I just say kharaja, he left. If I say dhahaba, he went. However, if I use a word with it, if I use a name of a person with it, or I use something with it, and that thing has we'll translate that as the person who did the action, or the thing that did the action. Wa ayna dhahaba aliyun. And where did Ali go? Obviously, it doesn't. You can't say, and where did Ali went? And where Ali went? Where did Ali? So it's either did go or went. Did go and went is the same thing. Wa ayna dhahaba aliyun. So if you just said ayna dhahaba, what does wa ayna dhahaba without Ali? If you close the word Ali, if you just said wa ayna dhahaba, what does that mean? Wa ayna dhahaba. If you just said wa ayna dhahaba without Ali.
And where did he go?
And where did he go? And where did he go? Now, because there's nothing with the verb dhahaba, you translate the built-in meaning, and the built-in meaning is huwa, he. Where did he go? But because we have the word Ali over there, and Ali has the double dhamma, in Arabic, this is a side note. This is a side note. If you understand it, alhamdulillah. If you don't understand it, no problem. Ali is the fa'il. Ali is the fa'il. In Arabic, we said you have two types of sentences, right? You have a sentence that starts with a noun, and we gave you examples of that. Al-imamu jalisun. The imam is sitting. Al-muhandisu, the engineer, waqifun, is standing. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher is mutakallimun, speaking. At-tufahu, or at-tufahatu ladhidatun. The apple is delicious. So we said, remember in the previous lessons, and that's why you need to revise all the time. When there are two words, the one word has al, and the second word has this is what we call a jumla ismiya. We did that, and you can go back to the third or the fourth lesson. This is a new rule. The rule is when we have a verb, we need someone who did the action. and the thing or the person that did the action is represented with an un at the end or u. So over here, Sheikh Adil, without knowing that, he translated it correctly. He said, wa aina, and where, dhahaba aliyun. He did not say, and where did he go, Ali? Because we said dhahaba means he went. He went, right? But because the word Ali is there, Ali is now the person who does the action. So, wa aina dhahaba aliyun, where did Ali go? Muhammad then responds by saying, dhahaba ila al-mirhadi. Dhahaba. How will you translate dhahaba over here?
He went.
He went. Jamil. Back to he went. Because there's no name of a person there. So you translate it back as, so when there's someone's name or something, then you translate that thing first, because that thing is the doer of the action. If there's no name, we assume the he again. So he went ila al-mirhadi. What's a mirhadi? We did do with this word.
To the toilet.
He went dhahaba ila al-mirhadi. He went to the toilet, Jamil. Okay. Now the action starts, inshallah. Tamarin, activities. Tamarin is the jam of tamrin. Tamarin. Ajib, respond. An to al-as'ilati al-atiya. Now, an is also a harf al-jar, like min and ila and fi. The word that follows it gets a kasra, but don't worry about that now. Ajib, respond. An al-as'ilati al-atiyati. Respond to the following questions. Okay. Min ayna anta. Min ayna anta. So I'm going to do that one so that you can see how I do it. Min ayna anta. So the question is addressed to me. I will respond by saying ana. Sorry for the writing. I don't have my pen with me. Ana min. Give me any name of any country. Ana min.
Malia.
Say that again.
Malia.
Ana min. Okay, let's say Somal. Or let's say Ana min, an easier one, and Ana min al-Yaban. Ana min al-Yaban. Ni. Ana min al-Yabani. I'm from Japan. Who wants to do the next one? Okay. Min ayna anta, where are you? From where are you? So obviously, from where are you? That is me literally translating it word for word. From where you. From where are you? Right? However, in English, we won't speak like that. We won't say from where are you. You will say, where are you from? Where are you? Where are you from? So you just have to remember, sometimes we have to tweak the translation into English to sound more coherent. And because if you say now from where are you, which is grammatically correct in English, it sounds a bit awkward. Okay. The next one is, let me do this one as well. Whenever you see the first that's a question. And when you have such a question, the answer will either be na'am or la. Anta. Anta. Minal Philippine. Anta minal Philippine. Who can do that one for us? Anta minal Philippine.
Are you from the Philippines?
Are you from the Philippines? Now you can either say la, because it says so you have to respond with na'am or la. You can either say la, and then you say ana min America, or sin, or whatever, right? Ana min America. You can either say that, or you can say na'am. You can say na'am, and then you take this again. You say ana min al-Philippine. Philippine. So there's a common saying in Arabic, fahmu su'al nisful jawab. Understanding the question is half of your answer. So if you are from Philippines and you say na'am, you just use the min al-Philippine again. Anta min al-Philippine? أأنت من الفلبين؟ نعم أنا من الفلبين. أأنت من الفلبين؟ لا أنا من جنوب أفريقيا. I hope that's clear, inshallah. Okay. Next one. Let me just trying to remove this quickly. Okay, yeah. Just want to clean up the screen. Who wants to do the next one, inshallah? Anyone? Anyone wants to do the next one? Who's going to? Man min as-Sin. Man min as-Sini. Man min as-Sini. Yeah, you can add anything. Man min as-Sini. You can say Hisham. Hishamun. Sorry for my, let me, sorry for that. It's way too light. I can't even see it. Okay, it's super light. What did I do? Hisham. It's very difficult to write like this with my finger. I'm going to write it here. Hisham min as-Sini. Hisham is from China. So Hisham, yeah, min as-Sini is from China. Man min as-Sini. Okay. Next one. Min ayna hamidun. Min ayna hamidun. Anyone? If you want to attempt that one, min ayna hamidun. Give us the answer as well.
And
Come on,
where
guys.
is Hamid from?
Yes. And where is Hamid from? Min ayna, from where is Hamid? Now you can say Hamidun min?
Min al-America.
Hamidun min al-America. Hamid is from America. Okay. So Hamidun min America. As a yeah, supposed to be there, but that's supposed to be after the Rad is supposed to be min America. Okay. أين ذهب عباس? أين ذهب عباس? Who can do that one, inshallah? أين ذهب عباس? ذهب means he went. So, but here's Abbas. أين ذهب عباس? Who can do that one for us? Anyone? أين ذهب?
Where did Abbas
Abbas.
Where did Abbas? Now, obviously, the word to is not part of it, but you have to add that in to make sense of it. And where did Abbas go? And where did Abbas go? Then what you do is فهم السؤال نصف الجواب. You take this exact same thing. You say ذهب عباس. Just keep in mind, I'm writing with my finger, right? And we're writing with a pen and writing with your fingers, like very different. ذهب عباس إلى, where can you say? إلى مكة. إلى مكة. Abbas went to Makkah. ذهب عباس إلى مكة. Abbas went to Makkah. Inshallah, if I have time, I will type the answers. This week's answers, inshallah, I will type it in the chat, and then you can write it in your books, and you can write it down, inshallah. Sorry for that. Now I forgot to charge my pen, and now I have this problem. Ustādh. Okay. I will type all the answers out for you guys. Okay, the next one is, who can do the next one for us, inshallah? The next one is a bit tricky, but who wants to try that one? We'll finish this lesson tonight, inshallah, and start with Durūs al-Khamis next week. So now you have learned two verbs for the evening. ذهب وخرج. ذهب, he went, he left. ذهب, he went, and خرج, he left. So who wants to do this? Whenever you see that there, Whenever you see this here, that's a question. Adhahaba. Adhahaba. Yeah, that's the name of the person. Aliyun. Adhahaba Aliyun ila al-mudiri. It's a question. Adhahaba Aliyun ila al-mudiri. From among the new brothers who have never studied Arabic, inshallah. I want you guys to take that attempt, inshallah, to try and make sense of that. So remember, we have a mixed group of people over here. Some of you studied Arabic, some of you have never studied Arabic. So I want those who have never studied Arabic to try and understand that, inshallah. Adhahaba Aliyun. Is when you ask a question. Let me see who's in the group, inshallah. Okay, we've got. Who wants to try that one? Adhahaba Aliyun. Adhahaba Aliyun. Take courage, inshallah. So let me translate it. Adhahaba. You see, dhahaba.
Did Ali go to the principal?
Did Ali go to the principal? So we said in the previous lesson we said means is or are. However, here, because it's used with a past tense verb, you can't say is he went. Did he go? Adhahaba Aliyun. Did Ali go? Adhahaba. Did Ali go? Ila al-mudiri, to the principal. And whenever you start the sentence with the jawab will either be na'am or la. Na'am. Yes. Dhahaba ila al-mudiri. Or you can say la dhahaba ila al-masjidi. Ila al-masjidi. Whatever you wanna. You just rewrite that, please. Okay. So you can say dhahaba. So if you say na'am, yes. Dhahaba ilal mudiri. That word, mudir. Or you can say la dhahaba ilal masjidi. Whatever, you can add anything. So it's a question. Okay? I hope that's clear. Then he says, Iqra, read, waktub, and write, ma'al dabti awakhiri al-kalimati, and add the proper case ending. So now he wants to see, do you know the difference between when the word gets a harful jar and when the word does not get a harful jar? Remember, we said any word with nothing preceding it will take the default ruling of getting a u or un. And any word that is preceded by min, ila, ala, and fi, those 4 huruf, they will get kasrah. So over here, is it al-ghurfatu or al-ghurfati? Is it al-ghurfatu or al-ghurfati?
Al-ghurfatu.
Al-ghurfatu. Al-ghurfatu. Al-ghurfatu. So it is al-ghurfatu. The next one, is it min al-ghurfati or min al-ghurfatu? Min al-ghurfati with a e or min al-ghurfatu with a u? Anyone?
Min al-ghurfati.
Min al-ghurfati. Min al-ghurfati. The next one is it min al-hammami or min al-hammamu? Min al-hammami or min al-hammamu? Is it min al-hammami or min al-hammamu?
من الحمام.
Okay. The next one, I'll do it. It's al-mirhadu. Al-mirhadu, because there is obviously nothing preceding it. So it goes back to the default. It gets the dhamma. And the next one I'll do again. Ilal mirhadi. Why does it get the di? Ilal mirhadi, because of the ila. Okay, who wants to do the next one? Is it al-yabani or al-yabanu? Is it al-yaba?
اليابان.
Al-Yabanu. It's Al-Yabanu. I will do the last ones, inshallah, the last three. It's Al-Filippino. It's a shad on the ba, Al-Filippino. And not Al-Filippini. And Min al-Hindi. Why does it get kasra? Because of the min al-Hindi. And ila sini. Ila sini. It's supposed to be as-sinu, but it gets the kasra because of the ila. Ila sini. So, ila sini, to sin. Inshallah, sa'usafiru ila sini. I will travel to China. Now let's do this one, inshallah. Iqra waktub. So we've got this page left, and we'll do this page as well, inshallah. And then next week, we'll start with ad-darsul khamis. We'll start with ad-darsul khamis. Okay. Iqra waktub. Read and write. I'll do the first one. Min ayna Fatimatu? Min ayna Fatimatu? Why is it Fatimatu? It's Fatimatu because there's nothing before it directly that makes it kasra. Min is not directly in front of Fatima, and ayna doesn't make a word get a kasra. So it is Fatimatu. Min ayna Fatimatu? From where is Fatima? Hiya. We said hiya means? Hiya means what? Hiya, she is. Min al-Hindi. She's from India. The next person, inshallah, go for it. I'm waiting. Next person, inshallah. Inshallah, we can finish this lesson in 15 minutes.
خرج المدرس من الفصل وذهب إلى المدير.
Which means ما معناه? What does it mean? ترجم الجملة إلى الإنجليزية.
The teacher went from the classroom and he went to the principal.
Okay.
إلى المدير.
So خرج المدرس. خرج is the verb. خرج. خرج means he left. But obviously there's the word al-mudarrisu over here. Al-mudarrisu. Al-mudarrisu. In Arabic, we call this person over here the fa'il. The person who did the action. The person who did the action. And that the person who does the action in Arabic, when we read it in a sentence, we add the dhamma to such a word. Because if we had to translate it into English as he left the teacher from the class. It makes no sense. So what do we translate first? This one. In Arabic, we call this a jumla fi'liya, a verbal sentence. The teacher left. Kharaja al-mudarrisu. The teacher left min al-fasli. From the classroom, min makes it kasra. Wa dhahaba, and he went ila al-mudiri, to the principal. Wa dhahaba ila al-mudiri, and he went to the principal. Who's going to do the next one for us, inshallah? Next one.
ذهب التاجر إلى الدكان.
Jamil. So ذهب, we have ذهب التاجر.
ذهب التاجر.
So we have ذهب التاجر. So we have a few rules, inshallah. ذهب is the verb. ذهب means he went.
He went.
Now you can't say ذهب, he went, the tajir. You have to translate tajir first. And how do we know that's the person who did the action? The dhamma represented. So you might ask, but how do you know you're supposed to give it a dhamma? Because if you had to translate it into English, does it make sense to read it as he went the businessman? No, doesn't make sense. So it must be the businessman went. And when the businessman is doing the action, he gets the dhamma. There's a reason why I'm stressing this and emphasizing on this. Because this will make you understand, this will allow you to read text that are unvoweled. So now you're reading unvoweled text. This is basically how an Arabic book will appear. A classical book will be a book that has all these words in, but with no harakat, no u'a'i. So ذهب التاجر. The tajir, the businessman went ila الدكان, to the shop. So we said Why is it التاجر? Because it's a sun letter. حرف شمسي. الدكان. Why is it الدكان? Because it's a sun letter. حرف شمسي. إلى الدكاني. So ذهب التاجر إلى الدكان. Who wants to do the last one, inshallah? The next one. Oh, there's a few more. Almost, inshallah.
try شيخ.
Okay, go for it.
خرج حامد من الغرفة وذهب إلى الحمام.
Jamil. So he says خرج. خرج. That's a verb. Now, generally, that would have been translated as he left. But it says he left Hamid. It can't be he left Hamid. So it's Hamidun. In Arabic, we call Hamidun the fa'il. He's the person who did the action. So kharaja is the action, the verb, and Hamidun is the person who did the action. So kharaja Hamidun. Hamid left. Min al-ghurfati. Why is it min al-ghurfati? Because of the min. From the room, wa dhahaba, and he went. So here it's he went. He went ila al-hammami, to the shower, to the hammam, to the shower, the place where you wash yourself. Ila al-hammami. Hammam. Okay, I'll do this one, inshallah, number 5. So yeah, you might say, could it possibly be min? Min kharaja. Now listen to this translation. From, he left the class. It doesn't make sense if you say from he. So it must be man. And as a rule, you can never, it's haram. It is haram from the perspective of grammar to allow a preposition like fi, min, ala, and ila to come in front of a verb. Those words, those huruf, they only govern nouns, not verbs. So you can't say min kharaja, or fi kharaja, or ila kharaja, or ala kharaja. Haram. So it is man, who, kharaja. Now we said kharaja means he left, but we can't translate it as who he left. So what do we say now? Who left? Who left? Min al-fasli. Min al-fasli. Who left? Kharaja literally means to exit somewhere. Who exited from the classroom? Who went outside of the classroom? Man kharaja min al-fasli, from the classroom. Who wants to do this long one? Wants to do this one? Anyone? You.
خرج الطالب من المدرسة وذهب إلى السوق.
نعم, جميل. So خرج الطالب. خرج is the verb. It means he left. Look at the author's unique style of it. This is why this book is amazing. This is the text that he studied at the Islamic University of Madinah in the Arabic program, in the Shu'ba, in the Ma'ad Lughat al-Arabiyyah, right? He introduces you to the entire study of verbs in the Arabic language with 2 verbs, kharaja and dhahaba. So he brings it in different ways. He brings it on its own, kharaja, he left. Then he brings it with a noun after it that serves as the doer, as the fa'il, as the person who did the action. Kharaja Hamidun. Hamid left. Then he brings it with an ismul istifham. Man kharaja. Who left? So he brings it in different forms so that you can see how the verb is used. Here he says kharaja talibu. Kharaja talibu. It's at-talibu because of the ta being a min al-huruf shamsiyya. Kharaja talibu. The student left, mean exited, he went out. Min al-madrasati, from the school, wa dhahaba, and he went ila suqi, to the suq. To the suq. Who wants to do the next one, inshallah ta'ala? It's not that difficult, guys. With revision, inshallah, if you go over this lesson again, it's not difficult. But you need to put in, there's an entry level amount of effort that you need to put in. You need to revise. If you don't understand, if you understand it, you understand everything that we're discussing, then obviously there's no need to revise. But if this is new information, then you need to revise it, inshallah. Okay. Okay, let me do this one. Okay. Is it Khadijatun or Khadijatu? Is it Khadijatun or Khadijatu?
Khadijatu.
Khadijatu, Jamil. Because we said there are certain names in the Arabic language. They still get the U, but they don't get the double U, the dhammatani, the dhammatain, the un, all right? And there's a reason for that. And the author will explain that reason in lesson 23. Durūs al-Thalith wal-Ishrun. Khadijatu min al-Sini. Khadija is from China. Is it Khalidun or Khalidu? Is it Khalidun or Khalidu? It's Khalidun. Wa Khalidun. And generally the names of males without the ta marbuta are read with a double dhamma. Wa Khalidun min al-Yabani. He's from Japan. It's from Japan. Now what the author is going to do is, before we end of the lesson, he says, da, place, write down, fil faragh, in the empty spaces, fima yali, the following empty spaces, harfa jarrin munasiban. A harf jar, we said a harf jar is a preposition. And thus far we have learned 4 of them. We've learned ala, on, we've learned fi, in, we've learned ila, to, and we've learned min, from. So he says, da, place, fil faragh, in the empty space, fima yali, the following empty spaces, harfa jar, a preposition, munasiban, a suitable preposition. So there's the 4, min, ila, fi, and ala. So if you know the words, you know which one to choose. Al-kitab, which means book, the book, and al-maktab, which means the desk. Which one makes the most sense to add there? Al-kitab, al-maktab.
Ala.
So the answer will be ala. Ala. So al-kitabu ala al-maktabi. Al-kitabu ala al-maktabi. Al-kitabu ala al-maktabi. Maktabi. Okay. The next one. Al-talibu al-fasl. Al-talibu al-fasl. I'm not going to give you the translations anymore. You're supposed to know the words now, inshallah. Al-talibu al-fasl.
في
Al-talibu fil fasli. By now you should know why I'm giving it a dhamma, because there's nothing preceding it to make it kasra. And here you're supposed to know why I'm giving it a kasra, because of the fi. Al-talibu fil fasli. The student is in the classroom. Okay. Whenever you use dhahaba, the verb, you're going to use with it ila. And whenever you use kharaja, you're going to use min. So dhahaba hamidun. Dhahaba hamidun. What's going to be?
إلى
Ila. Dhahaba hamidun. That's un. Hamid went. Ilal jami'ati. Ilal jami'ati. Hamid went. Ilal jami'ati. To the university. To the university. Hamid went to the university. Okay. Hamid went to the university. The next one is kharaja al-mudiru. What is the al-mudir? What's a mudir? Mudir. Very popular word in Saudi. Kharaja al-mudiru. The mudir. Mudir is a manager. That's used for the word manager. A mudir is basically an administrator. That's why there's a word called idara. The idara is the administration, and the mudir is the person who works in administration. Adar yudiru idaratan fahuwa mudirun. Al-mudiru, the administrator, the principal. Because a principal, in essence, is an administrator of a school. He runs the school. He manages the school. A manager is called the mudir. It's such a, in Saudi, the Bengalis will normally call you mudir. If they see you, they'll say mudir. That means like boss, basically. So خرج المدير من المدرسة. The mudir left or exited or went out from the school. Who's going to do the last one for us? It's a long one. You have to add 1 year and 1 year. Anyone? Next week, I'm testing you guys on this to see how good and well you know this. Who wants to do the next one? ذهب محمد. So whenever you use ذهب محمد, yeah, you can say من الصين إلى اليابان. Muhammad went from China من إلى اليابان to Japan. So all the words now, he says al-kalimatul jadida, new words that were used in the lesson. Al-madrasatu, that we know, that's a school. Al-faslu, a classroom. Al-hammam, shower. Al-mirhad, toilet. Al-matbakh, kitchen. Al-ghurfa, room, bedroom, or just a room. Ghurfatul julus will be a lounge, place, a room of sitting. Al-jami'atu, university. As-suq, market. Al-Yaban, Japan. As-Sin, China. Al-Hind, India. Al-Philippine, the Philippines. Al-Mudir, the manager. ذهب وخرج, ذهب, he went, خرج, he left. And here he mentions a summary of the rule. He says fi, which means in, ala, on, min, from, and ila, to, min huruf al-jar. They are prepositions. And the word that follow them will get a kasrah. وبهذا القدر نكتفي والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا, brothers, for your patience, inshaAllah ta'ala. Next week we will do a new rule, and that is the rule of idafa. We will learn things such as Baytullah, Rasulullah, Kitabullah, Kalamullah, Naqatallah. We will learn a new tarkib and a new construction, inshallah, and that is idafa. Kitabu Muhammadin. How do you say my car, or Muhammad's car, or Ibrahim's house, or Ahmad's pen? That's the rule that, inshallah, we will do in ad-Dars al-Khamis. Ad-Dars al-Khamis, and we will bring you some verses of the Quran and some ahadith where the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam used, and Allah Azza wa Jal in the Quran uses certain phrases in the idafa construction, inshallah ta'ala. And the reason for this is we want to connect whatever we study with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakumullah khaira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.